What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and we're going to take a look at the 5 biggest instant impact newcomers for Alabama this upcoming 2023 season. And we're going to start at number 5 with Trey Marshall, transfer linebacker out of Georgia. Last season had 19 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss. Also had an interception, broke up a pass. He was the number 8 inside linebacker in the 2019 class. We know how talented Georgia is at that linebacker spot, and I guess not enough room. Thought maybe he could have some more playing time in Alabama. I really don't know why he transferred to Alabama because they've got a lot of talent at linebacker as well. Probably not a guy that starts for them, but definitely a player that can step in there and be a big-time playmaker for them. Maybe he plays more at the line of scrimmage, maybe as a pass rusher, but a versatile player that can do it all. We'll see how they use him. But again, this is a guy that was at Georgia, coached by Kirby Smart, and again, versatile player. So I think we will see him on the field for sure. Maybe not as a starter, but definitely making an impact for Alabama this upcoming season. Number 4, CJ Dupree from Maryland, tight end. Last season had 30 receptions, 314 yards, 3 touchdowns. Big-bodied guy, has a big catch radius. A very good route runner. I mean, he is just a receiver in a tight end's body, pretty much. A really talented player, and I think he will definitely fill that hole from Cameron Latou that he's gone. You know, their go-to tight end last season, and he's going to step in and be a big-time weapon for them. Probably a big red zone threat with his size, and it's again a guy that's going to make a big impact. So I've got him in here at number 4. Moving on to number 3, Malik Benson, a JUCO wide receiver. You look at what he did I know it was junior college, but still, last season had 59 catches, 977 yards, 10 touchdowns, and he's just a playmaker. If you go watch the film on him, this is a guy that can catch the ball in space, get a lot of yards after the catch, make a lot of big plays. Most people had him as the number one JUCO receiver last season. So I expect him to come in and really make an instant impact. You look at their wide receivers, they've got a lot of talent, but they've had some disappointment with some of these guys. You know, I think Ja'Cory Brooks, he's set. Jermaine Burton is set. I think those guys will be starters, but I think Malik Benson could be right there with them. And I wouldn't even be shocked if he was the leading receiver this year just because of his playmaking ability. A guy that you can throw it out to on a short pass. He can make plays. Also a good route runner. Really athletic, a lot of speed. I just think he's going to be a big-time playmaker for Alabama, and we've got him at number 3. Number 2, we go to the quarterback position, and Tyler Bugner. Last season, of course, was injured most of the year. He did play some, 651 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, not good. A 55% completion percentage, not great. Did have 123 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns. So you see those numbers and you think maybe he's going to struggle, maybe not even win the starting job. I do believe he will win the starting job for a couple of different reasons. But let's just go back to last year. I think like 3 of those interceptions maybe came in the South Carolina game, in the bowl game. Yeah, he had the interceptions, but he also led that team to a win against a good South Carolina team. And there's something that the coaches saw in him at Notre Dame to where they made him the starter, because Drew Pine is a good quarterback. I think he's really underrated. You look at his numbers, you look what he did last season at Notre Dame, he played really well for them, and yet Tyler Bugner still, he won the job. He was a starter day 1, and then you go to the bowl game, he wound up starting in the bowl game after he got back and got healthy. So they see something in him, and maybe it hasn't quite materialized yet on the field, but the fact that they bring Tommy Rees in as the offensive coordinator, and then the fact that they didn't add Bugner until after spring, I feel like Nick Saban liked what he had in Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson, and he felt like one of those guys was going to step up and be the guy, and I think it just didn't happen in the spring, and that's why he made the move. And Tyler Bugner, you know, he had 2 years under Tommy Rees. Remember, he was there in 2021 as well, so he's going to know the offense. He's going to have a big time advantage there, and like I said, these coaches, Tommy Rees, they've seen something in him to where they believe he can be the guy, and I think because of that, he's going to be the starter. And you know, maybe he doesn't hang on to that job if he can't take care of the football. Of course, Nick Saban's not going to put up with interceptions, but I think he is the starter day one, and if he can play well. Another thing is he's going to have more talent around him in Alabama. He's just going to have better receivers, maybe not a better offensive line, but it's the same offense, better receivers, more playmakers, and they're going to really rely on the run game this year, I believe, at Alabama. So I don't think they're going to ask too much of him. He's a guy that can use his legs, so he can give you what Jalen Milroe can give you running the football, but also a better passer. And so I think he's going to make a big impact. Probably would have put him at number one if we knew he was going to be the starter, because obviously the quarterback position is going to make the biggest impact. But we don't know for sure, so that's why I've got him at number two. Number one's a guy that I think we feel pretty safe that he's going to be a starter as a true freshman, and that is Caleb Downs. He was the number 8 player in the 2023 class. He was the number 1 safety according to 24/7 Sports, and he's projected to be a starter as a true freshman. Maybe he can make the same kind of impact that Will Anderson made at Alabama. Not the same position, but as far as just coming in here and making an instant impact, I think he is the guy. Probably going to start at free safety. He can man up and play against big-bodied tight ends. He can cover running backs out of the backfield. So, maybe he winds up playing more of the star or the strong safety position, but it seems like from what I've read, he's going to be the starter as a free safety. He's a big-time hitter, great tackler, plays a lot bigger than he is, and I think he's going to make a huge impact for this defense. Really in an area of need. You look at the safety position for them, you're going to be missing some big-time players. Malachi Moore is back. Christian Story is back. Earl Little back, probably playing that star position. But the depth is not there. They're definitely going to depend on some young players. And again, Caleb Downs expected to start and expected to make a huge impact for Alabama as a true freshman. Do you agree with my list? Who would you add to the list that maybe I left off? Who would you take off that maybe I had on the list? Give me your thoughts down in the comments below.